Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have some BA Eldlich shenanigans. So right here we are up against Speedroids, and this duel just does a really good job at showing what the deck aims to do. So right here we have Tour Guide, it's Trap BA, just to clarify. So right here we're just going to start off with the Tour Guide. A Tour Guide by itself is a very powerful card. In terms of BAs, it will be able to end on a Dante mill, plus an IP Masquerena, plus a Beatrice. So right there, those mills, they are some pretty good mills. We have two Sanguines, so those Huaqueros aren't that great necessarily. But the Eldritch Golden Lord is super great, just since we have a Scarlet Sanguine in our hand right now. So we should be able to do some stuff here. We're going to go into an IP Masquerena. We're going to do Dante Seer, which will just... Dante Seer just means you get into a Beatrice. Now you're going to go ahead, set one Sanguine, send the Sanguine to the graveyard for your Golden Lord. We're going to use the Sanguine's effect to get a copy of your Conquistador. Now you're going to go ahead, set two, and now you'll use your Huaquero to get a White Destiny. So right here, this Edward doesn't look too good. You'll say Beatrice is a negate, IP Masquerena is a negate, well, not negate, Fiend Griefing is a negate, and Conquistador. Okay, yeah, it's not bad at all. It's actually pretty good, because you have a pop of Conquistador. You can use the Conquistador and your IP Masquerena to go into Unicorn. Unicorn is shuffle, so that's two disruptions right there. You can use Fiend Griefing. Fiend Griefing has the ability to send any Fiend monster from your deck to the graveyard, so you can even send an Alec or a Farfa, which can either turn into an impermanent or a monster banish. So that is 4 negates, including the Farfa or Alec. And then you have your Beatrice, which is either a Farfa or an Alec by itself. So that is 5 interruptions right there, which is super good. And on top of that, you have lots of follow-up plays in terms of you getting your Dante, and Dante will be able to retrieve something like a Seer. And then you also have your White Destiny and your Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine. So that is super good. Our opponent starts with the Special Summon Terratop. I don't know how if Speedroids work, so I don't decide to negate that. I know he has a Taketomborg in hand, so I don't decide not to kind of I know their Link monster is really great, so I decide to try to disrupt that, so I don't really do anything. Now our opponent used Taketomborg's ability, and I see Red Eye Dice. This is what I know as the card I have to negate, because then if that Red Eye Dice resolves, then he will be able to go into a Synchro monster, and I don't know what Synchro monsters they have access to, so that could be terrifying. He activates this Sting the Poison, which apparently can negate an effect on a spell speed. On spell speed 2, he can negate an effect on top of being a search on summon with level 4 or lower, by the way, which is really insane. So he attempts to force out my Beatrice, which he does a good job at doing. My Beatrice will mill a Farfa, and then I get Summon Conquistador to banish destroy card. Farfa will trigger, getting rid of that. I get rid of the Terratop because I don't want that high level monster to stay on the field in case he does some pretty janky synchro stuff. Dante will give me back my Seer, and just like that I have kind of wrecked his entire board. He summons the Speedroid thing, he still goes into Rubber Band Shooter. That doesn't matter because I'm going to go into Unicorn to get rid of that, and now Seer will trigger, summoning back the Dante, and he cannot do anything from this point. He could have summoned the Red Hair Hasty Horse, I guess, but Red Hair Hasty Horse pass is not a good play whatsoever. It just shows how this deck can absolutely wreck your opponent's boards. It's able to get follow-up in the form of Dante, and that follow-up is some very good follow-up. It's rather consistent too, just because of the sheer amount of engine cards you play, and we will get to the deck profile now. And also, mind you, I didn't even use my Fiend Griefing, which was another 2 disruptions in itself. So not only did we just blow up his entire board, we also saved 2 disruptions, because this could send an Alec, which is a monster negate. So as I said, let's go to the deck profile. Before going there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, as it really does help motivate me to do more videos. And let's go straight there then. So right here I have the deck split into first my not my BA, my Eldlich deck engine, and then my BA engine. As you see, I don't run any hand traps. I don't necessarily have a reason. I guess the deck is just super tight, and trap trick, I'm not liking this too much. This is probably replaceable, but it does definitely come in clutch when you're not able to draw your Eldritch cards. So that's something to keep note of. So starting off with our 2 copies of Golden Lord, you only really need 2. I've never felt the need for the third one, since this is a hybrid deck. 1 copy of Black Awakening, 1 copy of White Destiny. It's standard. You're going to use your Black Awakening sometimes, not all the time. Usually it's going to be as follow-up, and your White Destiny will be for recovery. 3 copies of Curse Eldan, it'll just help you search any disruption. 3 copies of your Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine. Scarlet Sanguine is definitely your best card, as it is able to just summon your Eldritch straight from the deck during your opponent's turn. So since during your opponent's turn, you don't have to worry too much about restrictions. 3 copies of your Conquistador of the Golden Land. Conquistador is just a very solid card, being able to pop a card, and 3 copies of Quaquero, being able to banish a card from your opponent's graveyard. Next we run 3 copies of Tour Guide of the Underworld. 1 Tour Guide is equal to a Beatrice plus an IP Masquerina plus a Dante Mill 3, so I don't know what else you could ask for. 2 copies of your Fiendish Rhino Warrior. I'm just capping off the normal summons at 5. I don't want to overflow myself with normal summons, and I have been seeing them pretty consistently. Another reason why I don't run too many normal summons is because of the Eldritch engine. Since they don't need their normal too much, it's fine even if you don't really draw them, and since all your BAs can just summon themselves, even if you you don't draw the normal summon, you're able to go into a Dante nonetheless. So that's some really nice stuff about it. Fiendish Rhino Warrior is just absolutely insane, especially if you draw a lot of your BAs and you don't want them to destroy themselves. Fiendish Rhino Warrior is just incredible. Next for our actual BAs, 2 copies of Seer, 1 copy of Libic, 1 copy of Alec, 2 copies of Farfa, 2 copies of Dante, and 3 copies of Skarm. I'll go over them one by one. 2 copies of Seer, you definitely need to run 2. It's so good at those recovery plays. 1 copy of Libic. A really good thing about it is that it's able to negate the effects of the card it summons out. So when it summons out, these BAs will not pop themselves. So it's really helpful if you just want to go into an access code or something. 1 copy of Alec. It's another Beatrice target, I guess, and is able to just negate the effect of a card in case you have a Beatrice and your Fiend Griefing. So if you need to use both of them, Alec is really just there for that, since it's able to negate an effect. I'm not running Calcab because I just feel it's kind of too situational. 2 copies of Farfa, you kind of need to run 2 because you do have multiple ways to send it from your hand to the graveyard, even if you do have it that way. So 2 Farfa for sure. 2 copies of your Graph. Graph is definitely a powerhouse. Being able to summon any BA from the deck is absolutely insane. So you can just tutor your plays according to that. 3 copies of Skarm. Since the deck is a slower deck, having the Skarm is pretty important, just being able to search that tour guide as a follow-up. 3 copies of your Paleozoic Dynamiscus. It's able to discard a card and banish card, so if you're able to discard either your Farfa or your Alec, it is just a home run right there. 3 copies of your Fiend Griefing. It's usually able to be a Beatrice on steroids, because it's able to just mill a Farfa for free, so that's really nice. It's also a DD Crow, so that's really nice. And finally, 2 copies of Trap Drake. This is probably the worst card in the deck. A good thing about it is that it's able to just get out cards from your deck. And it's really only useful if you end up not drawing any of your Eldritch cards or milling any of your Eldritch cards. And seeing that you run 17, it's not too probable. But a 2 Trap Trick, it's able to just turbo out one of these cards, which is nice about it. And that's it for our main deck. For our extra deck, you run 1 copy of your Purple Dante. We really just use it for our Beatrice floating effect as an untargetable 2800 beat stick, and it's able to deck thin yourself, so that's nice about it. Next, our Gusa Max Libe package. That is for if you're able to get 2 Golden Lord on the field. Next we run 1 copy of Beatrice, just another interruption, being able to either turn into an impermanent or a copy of your free. It's basically karma cut at that point. One copy of Levier. You don't make it that much, honestly. You don't make it that much, but it's able to recover your banish cards, so that's neat about it. 3 copies of your Dante. This extra deck is not tight at all, so you might as well play 3. You know, even though the game usually won't last that long. I just like to play 3 Dante because why not? 1 copy of your access code. This is definitely your most aggressive card, being able to just being able to have a spell speed for blow up of the entire board. It's not something to laugh at. On top of that, it doesn't even rely on consistency because it's in the extra deck. So this is honestly just an extra deck staple at this point. You should definitely put this in every single one of your extra decks. 1 copy of your Blackluster Soldier Link. This is really good, especially against your control decks that are not able to out it. This is also super good against Dinosaur, because if you're able to use its effect to gain 1500 attack, there is nothing that a Dinosaur deck can do to out this. If it's untargetable and indestructible, there's really nothing they can do at that point. 1 copy of your Nightmare Unicorn and Phoenix. These are really just utility cards. 1 copy of IP Masquerena. You definitely need to run the IP Masquerena because that's what your BA board ends on. 1 copy of Gravity Controller in case you just want to link off your Dante, and linking off your Dante doesn't come up too much, honestly, but it does come up if you're not able to get to your graph. And finally, the 1 copy of Link Spider. This is mainly just for your Golden Land cards. So that's the deck. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I guess I'll see you next time. Goodbye.